Hello everyone. Thank you so much for taking your evening to come and work together to support good decisions on Ottawa's official plan. I'm sorry that I can't be with you in person, but I wish you every success in your work. The climate crisis should be the central frame for decisions, all decisions in the official plan. Land use is Ontario's oil sands. Our decisions on land use are the largest driver of our emissions, and they lock us into, if they're done badly, a high fossil fuel future that we're not going to be able to survive. So it's very, very important. It's the most important single decision that Council can make, is to keep the urban boundary, not expand, not give up any more agricultural land, any more wetlands, any more woodlands, all of which we need to grow food and to absorb water and to provide some resilience in the climate crisis that's coming. There's lots of room within the existing urban boundary to accommodate a much greater population. We've got great examples of how to make wonderful urban spaces that accommodate many more people. Ottawa's got some good examples. Edmonton has wonderful examples now being built in Blatchford. The nation's capital should be setting a good example. And there is just no good reason anymore for expanding urban sprawl.
The city of Ottawa is very large by area. It's 90 kilometers across from east to west and 60 to 70 kilometers from north to south. But the urban area is the central area where the city services like water and sewer is provided. And within this urban area, there's the Green Belt, which is run by the federal government. The NCC looks after it. So there's an urban part of Ottawa inside the Green Belt, and outside the Green Belt as well, the urban areas east, south, and west suburbs. But all around is the rural area. And the line between the urban and rural area is called the urban boundary. And so Greg and I are going to go all around the urban boundary in this series of videos. So the next time the city plans to expand the urban boundary, you'll know where that is.
Here we are right at the start of on the western edge of the urban area of Ottawa. The urban boundary starts just there where we could see that marker. That's the beginning. Beyond that, it's the Green Belt. And so this is the start of our big tour of the urban boundary of the city of Ottawa.
Down Cameron Larga Drive to March Valley Road, next to the Connery Rifle Range, National Defense Land, and then cross country, just by Klondike Woods, an abandoned railway track, and we'll be getting closer to Canada. Here we are on the western edge of North Canada, and there was a large urban expansion here in 2012. And so this land that we're looking at here, with all the wildlife flooded in the spring, is where a new subdivision will be built in the next little while. Old Carp Road, where the urban boundary is the back property line to the left, then Old Second Line Road, past the South March Highlands Conservation Forest, and onto Terry Fox Drive, where over 100 acres of mature forest was clear-cut in 2017. Brings us to another area of urban expansion approved in 2012. A long finger of urban sprawl reaching from Terry Fox Drive through the Carp River floodplain all the way to Huntmar Road, prime Blanding's turtle habitat. From there, the urban boundary follows Richardson Side Road westward, crosses the 417 after Palladium, and to another urban expansion area near Jackson Trails on the way to Stittsville. Here we'll go to the far southwestern end of the urban area and follow the boundary there. In this area, the urban boundary follows the limit of the built-up area of Stittsville. On the right here, what we see is the very large Goulburn provincially significant wetland complex. This recognition was only finally approved in 2020 after a 17-year struggle. Hopefully, it will protect it against urban expansion. Oh, a blue and white city development application sign announcing development plans for another urban expansion area just on the southern edge of Stittsville. So now we'll follow the urban boundary along Fernbank Road, up Terry Fox to Hopeside Road, and then along the Rideau Trail for a bit on our way across the 416. At this point, the urban boundary makes its way around the Cedar Hill Estates area before following the 416 down towards Barrhaven. And so here we'll see some urban expansion areas that have been added to the southern edge. We'll take a stop at Cambrian Woods take a look from the Barnsdale roadside, and then make our way all the way east to where the urban boundary crosses the Rideau River. First stop, Cambrian Woods. This is an urban natural area that's protected by the city, but it's right next to the urban boundary. There was an urban expansion just on the opposite side of this woodland in an area that was an operational sand and gravel pit. We're concerned that residential development that's going in there now may damage the forest. Here's what the boundary looks like in terms of construction activity that's going on. These used to be farm fields, agricultural land. The urban boundary then makes its way east, where it crosses the Rideau River. Across the river, we will stop at the Long Island Lock Station, where the boundary then goes east along Rideau Road, and then we'll make our way north again on Beausville Road towards the Ottawa Airport. Long Island Lock Station. This is where the urban boundary comes across, and we'll make our way out along the lane that goes from River Road to the Lock Station. This is where the urban boundary moves east from here. The urban boundary follows the tree line that we see across this farm field on Rideau Road. It's very quiet, not very developed at this end. We'll now move east and explore that funny hook-shaped extension of urban area along Bank Street. It's hook-shaped because it's built around the Leitrim wetlands, a provincially significant wetland. We will stop where the urban boundary crosses Beausville Road and then drive along the edge of the Findlay Creek development. The urban boundary follows the edge of the Greenbelt here, and this is the Greenbelt's narrowest point. This land has since been reclassified as airport land, and the Greenbelt may in fact be broken. We are now driving along the edge of the Findlay Creek development. The urban boundary runs along this street, and just to the right is the Leitrim Provincially Significant Wetland. This whole area is dotted with wetlands, and they're under significant development pressure, also road construction pressure. There's a realignment of Leitrim Road. There's an extension of Earl Armstrong Drive, both projects which are supporting future development, future expansion in this area. The whole southeast area is the most pristine. It follows the green belt down Leitrim Road, then down Highway 417 to the aptly named Boundary Road, up through Carlsbad Springs, then all around the perimeter of the Mer Bleu Bog. So we are now on the last leg of our tour of the City of Ottawa's urban boundary, where it makes its way around the eastern suburb of Orleans. And we will see many different viewpoints from the edge of the Mer Bleu Bog, a rural village being swallowed by urban sprawl, a few urban expansion areas, Cardinal Creek, and then making our way back to the Ottawa River at the end of our tour. We are walking along the urban boundary here with the Mer Bleu Bog behind us and the village of Notre-Dame-des-Champs ahead of us. The urban boundary runs right through the village of Notre-Dame-des-Champs, and it is now enclosed on three sides by urban development. Another urban expansion area, large agricultural field, soon to be converted to residential development. Another similar situation a little bit down the road.
it goes back towards the river at some point, yeah.
But and we'll be able to tell because you can see the construction.
Mm-hmm.
So this is urban, this is rural, but only up until we get to a spot up here.
Yes, a spot where that's
Turning, then it turns right. I think it's right at the
yeah.
right here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I'll slow down.
Right, you have these trees, yeah.
Yeah.
So it turns and goes along
And
there.
then if you look down there.
Oh, that really is a good view, yeah. So
That's it there. That's the boundary going down there.
all the way down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we are getting to the end of our 121 kilometer tour of the City of Ottawa's urban boundary. We've seen a lot of wonderful natural areas, farm fields, wetlands. We've seen what urban expansion looks like. And we've come to a point in the context of climate change where urban expansion is just no longer a viable growth strategy, and it's got to stop.